So hello, Professor.
Hi.
Thank you for having me today here at your office.
You're welcome.
I chose you because you have an extensive experience with mega events.
Okay.
And now you worked in Olympics and the Asian Pacific Games and everything.
Asian Games, yeah.
Asian Games, yeah.
Mhm.
So I have 11 questions.
Okay.
Okay, for you. So the first one is, how did you become involved in the major or mega events industry, and what areas do you specialize in?
First of all, I started in 1996 for the Atlanta Olympics. At that time, and what I'm thinking really is that I'm originally from China. I said one day China going to run the Olympics. Really, although there's no any indication, but I know China try to get a bid for the operation, the Olympic operation. So I try to squeeze into the operation so that I can learn something. I can maybe by the time when China going to organize that, I can share with them about how to do certain things. At the beginning, they don't want to have me because they say that we have no PhDs. We don't need a PhD we need somebody with a hand who can do things. Anyway, so I had a former classmate who worked actually for the Olympics, and this is a young lady from Taiwan. And she said, this person is not just talk, as a professor, but he can do things. And because when I was, graduate student at Virginia Tech, and I organized a Chinese student, whether you're Taiwan, from China, it doesn't matter. We present a Chinese New Year dinner for all the faculties and graduate students. So that's make the she know that I can organize. She know that I can really literally can cook. So then eventually I convinced them. They say okay, and then I even bring 3 students from my class at Western Carolina. So they gave me a job as entree line manager. So and pretty much I was in charge of the night shift. 108 hot wells. I in charge of all of the hot wells, for food. So and I did that, accumulate some experience. And then by 2004, but that time, they already made announcement. China going to be the Olympic, organizer for 2008 Olympics. So then, 2004, when I made a second attempt to say, well, can I work for you for the, the Athens Olympics? They said, yeah, of course, come over. We really need you because they're going to run that. They need somebody who probably know China, so that maybe I can be somewhat helpful. So that's how I work as a Asian section for the full service part. And so then because of that, moreover, they really need my help. So by 2005, they contacted me, said, well, we're bidding for the operations. Can you help? I did help, because I know that who is the deputy director of the full service. I mean, it's a logistic, or maybe service operations.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you teaching project management this semester? Just a reminder, you have to have them do presentations and record them.
Yeah, I mean, that we are going to use the classroom and 249 so that we can record it. Right now we're using 242. There's no way we can record. Anyway, yeah, we'll go. I know
Okay.
for all the students.
I'm just making sure because I thought I didn't know. I forgot you were teaching it this fall.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks. Sorry to interrupt.
All right. So.
So you participated in the bid process? You participating in the bid
I
process?
helped them for them to bid for the
Nice.
process, and then when they bid, and then the Beijing Olympic organizing committee said, well, this time, because normally the company, I forgot to mention that Airmark is a company, which is a U.S. company, but they had so far now they have 16 Olympic experience, full service experience. I joined my list for 3.
Wow.
But normally they only run that Olympic Village, athletics, full service. They don't run others. But this time, the Beijing Olympic Committee said, well, if you're going to do this, we have a 5 venue. You have to take all of them. So that's Olympic Village for the athletes, then International Broadcast Center, and then the main press center, and 2 hotels. The hotels really target the international news media, correspondent, whatever, and they all house in the 2 hotels. So they say, okay, well, we're going to do it. Then they start 2005 to start to contact me. They said, how can you help? I mean, they bid, it's successful. I think 2007, I was taking a student to China for study abroad. The executive director, what's her name? This lady from Ireland, and who she was already over there. Said, well, I want to talk with you directly, and to tell me when can you start work for us for next year. And I said, I already contact with the HR department of Airmark, and I said I cannot go any time earlier than the Christmas time. Then they said, well, if in that case, maybe you just help us start from January. So as I'm teaching over here, I do have the sabbatical. I hope you understand what is sabbatical.
Yeah, you take your.
So I have the sabbatical, and that's my plan. And then I made a request. Then they gave me that opportunity for the whole spring semester. I do not have to teach. Now I can work for the games. So and start from January the 7th. I stood, arrive in Beijing, and start to work together with them. And the reason why they, want me to start work, that's probably October, 2007. The only thing that their partner, who is which is the Beijing Tourism Group, they promised they can have all the manpower, whatever the people they want to have, they will have. When the time got closer, then they will refuse to provide people because it's operation. We have hotels, we have restaurants. We need these people to work for those places.
Mm-hmm.
So then they are getting worried about where they get those manpowers. So they contact me. I want me to start early, but still not that late because they're still 8 months ahead. So and arrived, and then I said, well, I said, what's the employee? What kind of employee you need? They figure out they need 1,700 little chefs. So, okay, I said, I know someone. I know the China Culinary Association vice president. So I contact her, and she said, I'm trying to search you, where I can find you, because we had a relationship a long time ago. And so that I will, provide the opportunities. for those culinary school students to work for the Olympics. Okay, she helped me to get 1,700 little young chefs. In the meantime, I visit some of the schools where I gave them open orientations, to try to boost their enthusiasm so that they can, come to work for the Olympic Games. And then I said, look, and we have a branch school in Tianjin, and we can because the students all equipped with English, and they all learn about hospitality. I say, we can hire them to work for the Olympics. And then at the beginning, the Airmark said, no, Tianjin is away from us. We have to recruit from local universities in Beijing. But what happens, this is a foreign company. Can't try to recruit from the local. In many cases, they are not buying into that. And on the other hand, they did a lot of kind of promotions, want people to go for volunteers, stay on the street, wave people, all that stuff, and maybe walk in the stadium, whatever. I contacted my university where I graduated, and I remained teaching for 8 years. I went, I said, well, can we find students from work for this? No, all our students already kind of got their position, volunteer positions. So it's very difficult to, but I still managed to go to various schools like China Agricultural University, Beijing, and Polytech, and whatever. We try to get all together. Let's put it this way: all together, we recruit 7,000 employees only for the food service, because there's five vineyards. My title of the position is a training manager for the whole project, but I was actually a recruiter at the beginning. So when we get people all in-house, and then I will do the training. So literally, I count like at least 3,500 employees. I gave them face-to-face training. I have video to show at least two locations in Beijing to give the training, and then really try to get people ready. And this is really a very temporary kind of just short period of time, hiring and boost everybody up, try to get ready. And I wrote the whole script for orientations, hygienes, and safety security practice, and everything. And then, as I said, just give trainings. And even when everything is done, and when they are already on the position, I keep observe their whatever they try to do. So yeah, literally from January 7th all the way to September like 8th or whatever, just readily after the Olympics. I didn't do the Paralympics, but I did give training to the employees of the Paralympics, because the training material a little bit different. There are a lot of things how you're going to take care, and they have all this what would you say? People with a disability. Yeah. They all very self-confident.
Oh, they are?
Oh yeah, you can. If you, let's say, if the person on a wheelchair, the manager on the wheelchair, you try to be nice, kind. You try to push at the back. They will be very unhappy.
Wow.
So we have to let them know before you're going to help them. You really kind of ask, how can I help? Can I help you? This and that. So and then and also I really help to do a lot of interpretations. I even did a short course is the daily English. You know, for all these students, in many cases, besides our teaching program student, you know, eventually they say they're not gonna have them. Eventually, they find they have to. All 550 students from FIU, TUC campus, they all accepted. I mean, to work for the game because of my effort. I took a group of 20, I think 21 managers from all over, from Germany, we went to the campus. We interview each of the students. We find they are qualified. The reason why they don't want to have the student because there's a room, board, kind of issue. Mm-hmm. Because they do not have the facility to house all the people from other provinces. That's the reason they want to hire people from Beijing locally. Yeah. They can go home, back and forth, But eventually we have to find a location which is far away, and it's really in between Beijing and Tianjin. There is a industrial developing area. One or two of the factory closed, so that's why they left the student dorm. I mean the workers employee dorms kind of empty. So we refurbished that. We put a new furniture. We made that the public shower places are working. Mm-hmm. Then that place housed 2,200 employees. Wow. Our employees. So that's why we made the whole operation really working, and that's how bravely. To tell you what's pretty much.
It's nice because you knew somebody that worked, and it's the relationship.
Yeah. When you established, then for right after the Beijing Olympics, 2 years later, this is Guangzhou Asian Games 2010. They already told me, said, well, we give you a title of HR expert. Come to help us. So I went there twice. 1 month, try to recruit, get people organized. Then after 20 or 30 days later, another month, I went there and then gave the training. So that's about 2,000. Employees for the Asian Games. And then last year, it just become, this economy says, we really want you to come over here, to help us for the operation. So it's okay. I was in Macau on a sabbatical again. Mm-hmm. And so right after the Macau operation, the university sabbatical, immediately I flew to Hangzhou. I walked over there for 4 months. So they gave me a title of a director of operation for the whole operation. For this operation, we hired 1,200 employees, and we served 400,000 meals for this short period of time. And I have numbers to about how many tons of food we use. We serve from 5 o'clock in the morning all the way to 1 o'clock for the second day. Just for how many, 20 days? But before that, a lot of preparations. Yeah. I did, so I was there 4 months. See, from the beginning, and well, they had some people definitely before me. They're doing all this. But anyway, so when I was over there, try to, see how things are organized, and so that's how I work up to from June the 1st all the way to October the 9th.
Last year.
So yeah, well,
So you're planning still to work for FIFA or for the Olympics in Los Angeles?
I don't know FIFA, you know, I asked to tell the truth. I know the COO of the company. Right now, he's the COO of Airmark, based in Philadelphia. I sent him an email. I said, well, you know, are you going to for FIFA? Because, you know, here, Miami is the big, you know, place. And he said, no.
No, they're not.
Yeah, but is that we have 3 sites, 3 stadiums, different, you know, they have in different states. They have 3, you know, sites which they have the operation. So those sites, they will provide, you know, whether dinner, lunch, or whatever for the athletes who are going to compete over there. But Miami, they say that probably is run by Sodexo, a competitor.
No.
So that's why they won't be here. But I already told him that I said I'll be interested in work for the, you know, LA 2028 Olympics if I can.
Wow.
You know, maybe they're gonna, you know, with my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a possibility.
Wow. Yeah. Very nice. You know, for me, sports is like everything.
Yeah.
So the second question is, what is your definition of mega event?
Well, you know, mega event simply means that should be very large in terms of participants. You know, I mean, for sports events, that participation can be, well, for any big events. You know, you have the major players, you know, like a sports, like you have athletes, you have coaches, you have, you know, those team members. On the other hand, you have an audience, you know. So the total volume of participants, people, and the number showing that is a mega event. Is if you have a couple of hundred, I don't think that's, you know, a big mega event. I think anything probably, you know, more than thousands, you know, tens of thousands, right? So that's for me. I mean, that's I consider as a mega event. Yeah. The size itself, you know, really mean.
Yeah. What are some of the most important skills and characteristics to possess when working within the major or mega events industry?
I think definitely one skill you need to have the interpersonal skills.
Yeah, communication. Right?
Yeah, communications, and moreover, and specific knowledge you should have. Like for the full service, at least you know the scale of the service, and you probably, if you do not know the scale, you definitely can quickly pick it up to learn about the you know, the skills, and you know and the scope of operation really means that, you know, just for food service, you have a different kind of you know, would you say that cuisines. You know, like just use the latest one. You have, you know, in Asia itself, you have, you know, East Asian cuisines, you have Southeast Asian cuisines, and you have, you know, I mean, Chinese cuisines, you have European cuisines, because a lot of athletes, although they represent Asian countries, they may from
other countries.
US, they may from Europe, you know, the coaches from all over the world. So you have a European cuisine as well. So you have to have you know, certain knowledges, and moreover, if you know knowledge of you know, even the procedures, how to set up things, all the, you know, specific knowledge you should have. Otherwise, how are you going to make directions? How can you direct the operations? And yeah, communication skills, specific skills, and also you should have you know, organizational skills, organize people, you know, boost people's spirit. You know, this is really, you know,
Motivate.
motivate, you know, speaking skills and yeah.
How do you approach high-level strategic planning? Strategic planning for a major or mega event, and what are the most critical elements you focus on to ensure long-term success?
So, from a strategic perspective, you know, really, for all this, let's say for Olympics, I'm just talking about the full service, right? Because, you know, there are many other elements. Actually, you know, since the time, let's say, they normally make an announcement 8 years before what's going to take place. Like Beijing, I think year 2000, they made an announcement 2008, right? So, like the food service company, they already looking for, prepare themselves for the bidding process. They will learn anything about, you know, what the requirement and, you know, how big the scale and what could be the budget. And, you know, I mean, they will make all this, you know, analysis. Interesting enough, that's something I learned that in order to get the Beijing Olympics operations, the company went into China much earlier than probably maybe right after, you know, they made an announcement 8 years ago. So they will try to take over some small companies.
Oh.
You know, like food operation companies. I remember at least they make 2. You know, those they serve for the office buildings, whatever, and then become part of theirs. So which means that they try to accumulate local knowledge. If you do not have a local knowledge, moreover, they try to identify informant, right? Like me, I'm like informant. I know, you know, maybe some people over there. I know and how this, you know, operation works over there. I'm talking about Beijing Olympic Committee, and then this is going to be really, you know, the sources information, sources knowledge, you know, they will have, and then the plan really start from, as I said, first of all they have to know the roughly how many people may participate, who are their target market. Like, you know, I mean, they have them like a benchmark. You know, like when they do Athens Olympics, they go use a number of the operation when they did the Senior Olympics. Senior Olympics is 2000, and then the 2004, like with the 4 years, they accumulated all this information, like say, what kind of food, what's the menu planning, and what's the ingredients, where the ingredient come from, and you know, all this they have to do a lot of study. They have to do a long-term preparations, because you know the food safety is very critical issues.
Yeah.
So I mean, under that the International Olympic Committee, they are very strict to where the sources of food. And they have to even require, like China, you have to get a certain piece of land and from different locations, and then the soil need to be tested to see whether there are any chemicals, whatever, and maybe, you know, whatever you plant the materials, maybe the pigs, whatever, maybe the, you know, the cow, sheep, they do not have the contents of stimulants, which you know, intrude the true competition and of the athletes. I mean, this is food safety. They all kind of pick up all this knowledge, and then when they bid this, they have all this information, so which, you know, can make them to convince that with their experience. I talk about, you know, they have like 16 Olympic experience, and so they can say that, you know, moreover, they probably will present, you know, budget, because, you know, all this really, where they're going to get human resources, like Beijing Olympics, they recruit, I think, 280 international managers from their operations, like the one who in charge of the operations, and who is from Germany, because he ran that World Cup, the couple of years earlier in Germany, the World Cup competition, and then they have people from Canada, from various countries, from Europe, from UK, and interesting enough, they will recruit some of those managers where they perceive that the country going to organize Olympics, like from Brazil. I mean, so they have a very good strategic plan for today, tomorrow, and what happens in the future.
Yeah.
So this is a whole. I mean, from menu planning, from the who will be the target they serve, from recruitment perspective, from the training perspective, the whole process, they need to plan for that.
The long-term planning.
Long-term planning, especially, even interesting enough, for food service, the equipment, cook the food, different country, they require differently. I say most of the Olympics, I think maybe according to the Olympic Committee, is that you cannot use gas. You cannot really use flames, because that could create fire,
explosion,
hazard, right? So they're only allowed to use electricity cookware. And moreover, I mean, this is a British company. They are the one who have the whole assembly of cookware, so you can only lease that cookware, and then they're going to store that for you, and then you have the operation. After that, you have to send it back through ships, whatever. So that company make a lot of money.
Yes.
Just for just, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, they make a lot of money just for lease property.
And it's just one company that has it.
Right now, for the Asian game, I think they are using a local Chinese company. I think,
Yeah, they have to.
They learn that, but still it's the leasing. Yeah, because those companies, they do not want to have buy all this.
Yeah.
Because just for a short period of time, unless they are expanding and.
They must charge a lot of money because it's just for a short period of time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a niche for a very specific time.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why they can make some companies survive for whatever the specific service is.
Yeah. What challenges do you typically encounter in venue management for large-scale events, and how do you address them to ensure seamless operation?
Well, one of the challenges is that, immediately, let's say for all of a sudden for the short period of time, normally, and let's say maybe 1 or 2 months before the real operation, you try to recruit thousands of temporary employees. Where those employees can come from, what kind of skill they may have. In many cases, they literally do not have. Like for the operation over there, all of a sudden we find that we really need a young cook, but where they can find it, Hangzhou, the province of Zhejiang province, is one of the large provinces. The most advanced, but try to find some, cooks. Well, you may have few, but, they all have their own position somewhere. You try to take that. So, and really, I don't know, maybe a month and a half, all of a sudden they contact me and say, well, we really need some young cooks and who know how to cooking or whatever. So can you help? I said, that's what I did to talk with the national Culinary Association again. And at the beginning, they said, we need how many you need? We need 40. Then they contact with the hotel school.
Mm-hmm.
And then while contact hotel school, the number from 40 enlarged to 200, 5 times. And then they definitely contact with one of the school in Shanxi province, Xi'an. They recruit more than 200 students. These 200 students really very well trained, how to make a lot of fancy stuff, by which they can use hand to stretch noodles. The noodle can be as thin as a thread.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's so very experienced, and they do the nice carving from watermelons. They demonstrate over there, showing that during the Mid-Autumn Festival at that time. Oh, so that's good. Manpower, training of those employees. For this 1,200, very few who has experience.
Mm-hmm.
Even for the management team, I'm the one with several Olympic, even Asian game experience. Then there's another one who was a chef, who worked for Beijing Olympics before. Even the executive chef has no knowledge with the sports food service.
Mm-hmm.
He was a chef for sure, but not really to talk about this sports
type of event.
Yeah, type of event. So the experience really counts. We had another lady who is a financial director of finance, and she was like a bookkeeping, clerk during the Beijing Olympics. But you only dealing with the money.
Mm-hmm.
But now he got a position of director of finance. The one who ran the whole operation, general manager of this Asian Games, Hangzhou, he worked for the financial department during Guangzhou 2010 Asian Games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's now become a general manager. So I think what experience, I think that really the temporary employee, the recruitment, and definitely trainings, because most of people, from other provinces, and most of them from hospitality schools, but still, they do not have probably any hands-on experience yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really,
Okay, can you walk us through your resource planning process? Resource planning process for a mega event, and how do you ensure that resources are allocated efficiently across different functions?
We just talk about sports.
Yeah.
There is when they got the bid, they start to plan, and from resource perspective, for just 12 operation, they do have a service, department, logistics.
Mm-hmm.
So they are in charge of where they're going to get, the source, and how you're going to create a bidding process. For the food service, especially, I think they had I think they have 140 companies want to join the bidding process, want to provide, let's say, food, non-food services.
Mm-hmm.
And I think eventually we nailed down like 18 companies. So the whole bidding process, and then we have to build warehouse, because all the sources, when they come in, they're not coming directly to the operations. There's a warehouse with the food and non-food items over there, and then they have to have the logistics to transfer the food from the warehouse to the operations.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that day by day. They normally will ship the food in middle of the night, because there's traffic,
Mm-hmm.
transportation related issue. So a lot of logistic connections. You have to you have to inform even the security guard. If they have no knowledge of this, just shipment, they just simply close the door. They will not allow you to, because this is for the safety security concern. But a lot of logistics, a lot of communications among all the sectors. So, and the sources, as I said, this is like just for the Asian Games last year, right? I think 2 years earlier, they already looked into possibly how many tons of beef and lamb they need to have. They already contacted original sources in Xinjiang, far away. They made a contract with them. So by the time they need that sauce, they're gonna how many you want and the shipment, and also they have to consider a lot of possibility of waste, and and moreover, what if the material is not arrived to the operations, substitutions. So there's a lot of planning for that, and also the problem is that you said what's the challenge? One of the challenges is that for this Asian Games, at the beginning they say, okay, yeah, probably 9,000 athletes going to participate. Eventually they have 12,000 plus all this delegation members or whatever. I think the total number like 18,000, double the number. So even you have the plan and they're keeping kind of expand, really that's creates a headache for the operations. Like we, and moreover, those people who at the beginning, they, like Hangzhou, they do not have experience. They never run a mega event, put this way. So when they look into that, let's say that refrigerate facilities, they just have a small refrigerators. They have a whole line of that, but still, that's not enough. So when Airmark come in, when the expert from the headquarters from Philadelphia, then when they say no, it's not okay, because it's going to be very hot. Even you have a refrigerated, containers, right? But still, that's not enough. So they eventually request 2 walk-in refrigerators. That really added a budget for the Olympic organizing committees. So they just, hey, why keep adding, this new equipment and whatever. But look, the players, the athletes, and the team members, they keep adding. So what can we do? We'll have to house them. We'll have to provide them 20 hours of meals. So that's why we have to request more money. Yeah, budget.
No. So it's like you select the challenges, the unexpected.
Unexpected, things happens. It's out of the plans. So I was over there for 4 months. I don't know how many days in a week I have to go to a meeting.
To ask for more money?
Money, the problems we encountered. Even let's say for dishwasher room. At that time we have probably 1 or 2 dishwasher rooms. Eventually I have to have a new dish room. And even for the power, let's say we use, I don't know how much volume, electricity we need, because of keep adding the new equipment.
More electricity, more
they
money.
have to need more new electricity.
Yeah.
There's just a lot.
And how did they get the money?
Interesting enough, this operation different from any other operations. This is a real estate development company. It's a state owned. Okay.
Oh, so they have money.
They are building this whole area for future residential, complex. So they are going to sell those houses and whatever. So they have money, but still, when you ask for money, it's very tight. They don't want to give out easily, but eventually they give. But you just meeting, talk, argue, and then is there's a lot of unexpected things happens. There are a lot of somewhat is not a physical kind of risk, but there are a lot of risks in terms of operations. You gotta have a prepare for that. You have to have a contingent plan.
Yeah, contingency plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting, a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
So, what project management methodologies or tools do you find most effective when coordinating multiple teams and stakeholders in a major event? Do you have like a project management tool to deal with, to
Well,
define the tasks
we are here, we are using a program. I think because the general manager gets so used to use Excel, right? We are using the Excel program for menu planning. Using that same product program we're using for let's say employee scheduling. So that's the program. I think Aramark itself has a program to package everything together, but they didn't use that only because the general manager gets so used to Excel.
Oh, so you did use Excel?
Yeah, they use Excel, and so you see the menu planning. You have one name over there. Then you look into the ingredients. All kinds of ingredients should be in it. And you look into the cooking procedures. And then you're looking for the yield of the food. And, this is the whole plan. With that program, they have to step by step put all the information in because the operation is like a circle menu. They do that, every week. They have the circle come back the same.
They repeat the same menu.
Yeah, only 2 weeks. So that they repeat it one time, maybe 1.5 times, pretty much. Yeah. So a lot of planning. For the tools and definitely communication. We are using, whatever all the program, whether it's a Word, whether it's PowerPoint, and So we do use that. Help us to do the planning.
Okay. How do you assess and ensure event readiness as the date approaches, and what key indicators do you monitor to gauge preparedness?
Well,
how to make sure you are ready?
Well, I think first of all, we need to have a good recruitment. Try to find all means to recruit the employee we need. I cannot say the best employee because sometimes, all of a sudden, just for, let's say 2 months maximum, how can you have people just work for 2 months, then you're going to disseminate. So, anyone who can accept the job will have to training. I think for this 1,200 employees, we did like more than 40, I think about 50 sections training, different level of training. First of all, there's orientations, to everybody. So what is the significance of, to have this, be part of this, event. Then talk about, like I said, all other specifics in terms of hygiene, personal hygiene, in terms of food safety, in terms of, kind of how to avoid accidents, like a slippery, fire, whatever, all these trainings, and also common policies, even, the money, whatever, they will get it paid, and all this you need to give them out, and then, this is the general training, then we'll have to training the trainers. We have select, I don't know, maybe 100 or whatever from each department, so that they're going to oversee the operations and to uphold the policy procedures of the company. So I think definitely, to prepare the people the first, and definitely for the facilities. As I said, 2 years ago they started to do all this, procurement and order after bidding, select those places they're going to put order. And I think at least half year ahead of time they will make the order, and then by the time and they will arrive, I think, I don't know, maybe about a month, and some fresh materials they have to from local, but they have to get from the designated suppliers. Yeah, lot of detailed. We have a whole operation structure. You have the top for the general manager, then you have HR, big part is to recruit people. You have the finance, you have the operations, you have food safety security, and then you have engineer, and you have logistics. So at least this department and the structure should be kind of put into place. Then you can look into for each for each department. You probably will break down into different sections. Like for me, I'm in charge of the operations from the gate, welcome people. We have a storage place for people to put their luggage and whatever, to the one who serve at the front, and then we'll have the cleaning staff, doing dishwasher, keep the floor clean, and and then we have people doing all the trash, whatever. So you have to get all organized together, and then moreover, it's not one shift. We will have 3 shifts. You have to, how you going to plan that. We have a 24 hours plan. So how can make that work? Right? We have a 24-hour plan with a 3 shift.
8 hours each.
Yeah, 8 hours each. Even in the night, they're like from 1 to 5 o'clock, no operation. Actually, that's the time.
Oh really, yeah, then you have people working at the same time.
Yeah, their job really thoroughly clean the floors.
Yeah, it's more for cleaning.
And the whole team. Yeah. So there's so many plans, you see so many Excel sheets, and so many organized meetings, because you have to tackle all the problems, all of a sudden,
before the event starts.
Yeah. I mean, and I think for those big events when they involve with a lot of audience, the safety issues is big concern. For this is really in general, not necessarily for the food service, but for general public, the safety issues is definitely, and moreover, the control of the crowd. You see, we had this
Copa America.
No, this is the soccer games over
Colombia and Argentina.
Yeah, I mean they have the
final.
tickets, and those people who had a ticket couldn't go in.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not have a ticket, jump into the fence, and that's a organizing problem, and also ticketing issue. A lot of people involved with that.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
3 more questions. What are the main operational challenges during the actual delivery of a major or mega event, and how do you manage them in real time?
That's probably already
challenges. Yeah, it's like you
already
said.
pretty much answered that question. Yeah.
Legacies and impacts of mega events. What strategies do you implement to ensure that a mega event leaves a positive and lasting legacy for the community?
I think my experience is that we definitely, when we do the food service, we want to provide the best food to the athletes, so that in many cases to guarantee their best performance. But that's on one hand, when they eat the food, they like the food, and the key is that gonna communicate with athletes. Gotta, ask for feedback. And definitely, I would say that by the end of the game, you want to do a little survey so that, you want to see in many cases, is their experience, their satisfaction level. So for Beijing Olympics and also for the Asian Games, I personally, because I'm in HR, this time in operation, we did a survey. Beijing Olympics, the satisfaction of the food service, 92% satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Then this Asian Games, 97%.
Yeah.
Yeah, satisfaction. I know that my role for this, director of operation, I have day in, day out communications, with the NOC, National Olympic Council of each country, each delegation. There are 45 delegations. I talk problem almost every single one of us to say how is everything, do you think we need to have a improvement, what we need to do. I talk with the athletes or coaches directly.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it is one I think he's a coach, and he keep raising the questions. I said, well, why there's no peanut butter?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are allergic to peanut butter, but these Iranians, they may not allergic, and say, we get our proteins if we do not eat meat. We get our protein from peanut, Then I just simply talk with the executive chef. I said, do we have peanut butter? Oh yeah, we have. I said, put it, from. You not just simply use making some, Thailand foods ingredients with peanut butter. It's okay. And they say, well, another time say, why we do not have whole wheat bread?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to, provide whatever they ask for. If
It's possible.
possible. Yeah, we try to please them. Yeah, there even a Chinese, delegation member said, but by the end of this game said, so where's the kimchi? The Korean salted vegetables, kimchi.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of with a lot of garlic, smell with hot chili. We ran out, but we do have the radish, kind of the same way to make that, not a Napa cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
They said, why? I said, well, look, how many kimchi? This is for this 20-some days, right? For kimchis, the athlete took 2 tons of kimchi.
Oh my God.
This is just like a condomers, right? It's not a major dish, but just pick a little bit.
Appetizer, yeah.
Appetizer, 2 tons.
So I could say that the main legacy of a game would be like
let's say that the customer satisfaction.
Or the cultural experience, or
Well, definitely it's a cultural experience. They have let me tell you this. I said it's really the satisfaction impressions from the participants.
which gives them a good impression of the country.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, this is true. When the president of Asian Olympic Council, at that time he was interim president, originally from India. Okay, he came and tried to, check everything with his wife, and I think his son and the whole bunch of people followed. And then they're gonna eat over there, want to test the food. First they talk with all the counters, athletes, and then after that, and the wife stand up, want to go to fetch the food. I was companion for her to go to the counter, and after she fetched the food, and she said, I mean, I have to tell you something. I said, what? He said, I married this man 40 years. I participate in so many sports events. This the first time I've ever seen these people with every single one of those servers with a smiling face and provide wholehearted service. I said, this is the most important thing, and I'm sure there will be a memory from her, and I'm sure probably she's gonna brag about to many other, whatever, her close friend. I think this is really the legacy. What do you expect? I really built some good friendship. So this is, you can say, legacy. The one who is still the Malaysian Olympic Committee Council, the vice chairman of the committee. I have the WeChat account with him. Whenever he's really in charge of the wushu, the martial arts. I think he was, when he was a young boy,